What's going on, guys? So I am out here with my brand new Coachman Brookstone 398 MBL Concept Edition. This is one that I collaborated with Coachman on designing and developing. It is totally, well, I'm not going to say totally, but it's largely unlike any other 398 MBL that's on the market. I've been out here today doing quite a few things to it, and I just wanted to go over those real quick. So hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so first and foremost, right up front is the Reese Goosebox that I've already had installed. I had this actually installed before I revealed the unit, and I want to give a big thank you and shout out to the folks over at Reese for providing this Goosebox to me for review and evaluation. And if you don't know, I've reviewed multiple Reese Gooseboxes, including the Generation 1 version and the second generation version, which introduced a lot of significant upgrades to their Generation 2 version, including extra adjustability up here so you can put this in a lower or higher position, as well as a locking mechanism right here so you can secure it either on the truck or while it's in storage, and chain holds so you have a place to actually mount your chains. Really cool. Definitely a big fan of the Reese Goosebox. It is LCI approved, mainly because it utilizes shock absorbers here as well as an airbag up here, and it controls forward and backward motion whenever you're towing it. So it puts minimal stress on this upper deck portion, which is really what LCI is concerned about. Stepping back, on the feet of the fifth wheel, you can see I've installed snap pads. So eTrailer, my official channel sponsor, carries pretty much everything you can imagine for an RV. They carry the Reese Goosebox. They carry all sorts of other replacement pin boxes that you might like. They carry snap pads, which are a really brilliant invention that essentially snap on permanently to the bottom of your leveler feet or your landing gear feet and provide like a 1-inch thick rubber cushion, so you don't have to walk around every time you set up your RV and throw those rubber pads or plastic pads underneath. They work exceptionally well. Once you get them on, I don't think there's any way to really remove them, but they're supposed to be on there permanently and they work exceptionally well. So I've been very happy with those. I put those on the previous fifth wheel, and again, big shout out to eTrailer for providing those. Another big shout out to eTrailer for setting me up with the Furrion side and rear view camera system. So I just got done installing these. This system provides me a rear view as well as side view access to the trailer whenever I'm towing it or backing it into a spot. Now, anytime you're towing a trailer, you're likely to have hit or miss experience in terms of live video. But I've actually found this system to work pretty well, and it has really good range considering the fact you don't need to add a booster or any other type of equipment on top of your RV to reach it. So very happy with this system, and it cosmetically looks great. The only thing I don't like about it is that it uses an incandescent bulb. I really wish they would use LED bulbs here, but yeah, it uses a single incandescent bulb here. I could easily pop the cover off, throw an LED bulb inside of there. It just kind of seems, in 2021 that they would have put LED lights inside of there. But very cool system, very clear. In this specific setup, I went with the 5-inch display instead of the 7-inch display, just so it wouldn't take up as much room on my dash or my windshield whenever I'm using it. So very cool, and I'll show you the back camera here in a second. And right here you can see the back camera already installed. Now this was kind of confusing because the mount for the camera that was already on the fifth wheel looked like a Furrion wireless camera mount, but it's not. It's made for some other brand. I'm not really familiar with it. It looks almost identical. I mean, it has the same little curve to it. It's got pretty much the same type of connection, except the plug is completely different. The screw holes don't align, and the camera can't mount just inside of it. So if you're going with the Furrion wireless camera, you would need to go to a different mounting plate up there. It wasn't very difficult to install, but it was definitely an extra step. On the Vanley Beacon I had, it was already set up for the Furrion wireless camera with this housing, so it was a 5-minute install. On this, it was about a 25 to 30-minute install, just because I had to go up and down. I had to cut the old harness off, put the new harness. That is included with this camera, along with the actual mounting plate. The whole assembly is actually included with the Furrion setup. So you have everything you need to replace it. It's just an extra step that you have to do, and it takes a little bit longer because it's not already equipped with the Furrion mount. I kind of wish they would equip it with the Furrion mount, simply because it seems to be the most popular camera that's out there, and it just pops right inside. You plug it in, you're good to go. But I got the 3-way Furrion camera system installed now. I got my back camera and the 2 side cameras. And coming around, this is that really innovative storage that I had added to the back area of the fireplace. So on some units, you actually pull the fireplace out from the inside like a drawer, but on ours, I figured, you know what, it's a little bit easier to access that storage and probably more usable by putting the storage behind the fireplace on the outside. So it's additional outside storage. And a lot of people really couldn't tell the dimensions of this. So I put a bunch of stuff in here so you kind of get an idea of what it can carry. First of all, I love the thick baggage doors and the dual slam latches. But once you look inside of here, I have a 30 amp to 50 amp conversion cable. This is what I use when it's in storage and powered up. I have my 50 amp cable right here, and I have my Valterra RV air compressor, which has the coiled air hose as well as the air compressor and everything inside of here. And I still have room. I mean, this thing is really, really large. It's almost 4 feet wide. It's about 2.5 feet tall, and it's almost 9 inches deep. So there's a ton of room in here, and I'll actually be installing something else in here very soon. But this is really cool, and honestly, it turned out better than I thought it would have. And hopefully, maybe in a future generation, we can find a way to find more space and make this even deeper and taller. But this is really cool, and it's come in really handy because none of this stuff has to go in my storage on the truck or in the basement of the RV anymore. Now stepping over here, got my Valterra gate valve here at the end. This is absolutely mandatory. Honestly, this probably should just be something that they include from the factory. It's a super low cost upgrade. It simply clamps onto the end of your sewer connection, and it gives you a gate right here at the very end. So whenever you get to your RV park or you get to your dump station and you pop the cap off, you don't have all this stuff that's built up in this line flowing out. This basically puts a cap here. I can take this off. I can hook up my sewer connection, open up the gate when I'm ready, and it releases anything that's inside of here or that might have gotten caught. Last thing you want is, you know, a ball of toilet paper that got caught inside of this pipe, backing up a bunch of nasty stuff inside of there, and then when you hit the road, it broke all of that loose, and it's just sitting here waiting to surprise you at the end. So this Valterra little gate valve at the end, again, it just clamps on just like a sewer connection, clamps on here, and it is priceless. This thing is absolutely amazing. It could be 3 times the cost and I'd still get it because of the inconvenience it helps you avoid in a very, very good way. Got the other camera over here. Now, one thing that I feel they forgot to put on, and they actually offered to send me it, and they kind of admitted that it was something they forgot, is a way to latch this door open. So this door swings open this way, and there's no way to keep the door held open. So I would have put like a magnetic hold here. The problem is most of the magnetic holds are pretty flat, and the door will actually swing open and it will make contact with these. And I don't want that to happen. So what I did on my Chaparral, which kind of had the same issue, is I put one of these up at the front. Now, I am too close to this RV next to me to swing the door completely open, but once I get the RV out next time, I'll mount the other side on the door, and it will give me the ability just to latch it in place. I mean, this is a really simple solution. I'm fine with it. A lot of people would say use a magnetic latch or something else, but this just gives me peace of mind. It just keeps the door from swinging back closed, and again, it doesn't look bad, and it'll just keep the door open, which is all I really want. Now, for some bigger items, or a bigger item. Well, the first one was this latch right here wasn't catching the actual screen door. So the screen door would close, but this was too flat against this surface and it wouldn't actually hold the door. The main latch was fine, but this one wasn't. So I put some washers behind there, tightened it down, and now we are good to go. That's not going anywhere. Another big upgrade that I did, and this is one that you probably could have anticipated me doing, is adding this RVLock door lock system. This is super cool. I put one on the beacon. I got to touch up the vinyl graphics right here, which were around it. But overall, if you're down here, you really don't see it. Overall, this is a phenomenal setup. Keyless entry. It gives you the ability to use a code or a remote control that comes with it. Plus it has 2 keys. So I have the ability to, pretty much leave the keys in the RV if we decide to go for a hike or a swim or something like that. And I don't want to carry so much stuff with me. I can set up several codes. It's just, again, such a convenient feature. And you just walk right up to it, put your code in, press unlock, and you can access your RV. And the RV door lock was supplied to me by the folks over at RVLock. They actually sent me 2 of them. When I had the beacon, they provided one for that, and then they sent me this one for my new RV, which was coming in. We didn't realize it would be 6 months later until I would get the RV. But yeah, big shout out to the folks over at RVLock. I've done 2 videos on installing these so far. Definitely worth checking out. One of the simplest, smoothest, easiest to perform installs. Everything about it's easy to do. So just something to keep in mind. So far, eTrailer, RVLock, and Reese have been the big contributors to the things that I've done so far, right? The snap pads came from eTrailer, the Valterra gate valve at the end came from eTrailer, the camera system, the Furrion camera system came from eTrailer, the RVLock came from RVLock, and the Reese Goosebox came from Reese, but that's also a product that eTrailer can also get. So very happy with my partnerships there so far. Coming inside, I don't have this slide completely out because I'm just working on some stuff. So this is pretty cool. This is like a peel and stick backsplash material. I don't ever just put this stuff straight on the wall. I always apply like a 3M adhesive whenever we're going to use something like this. But we're going to put this in various areas to see how it looks. We'll probably put some here in the backsplash area, maybe some here on the island, some here over behind the coffee station. But I got a bunch of it, and this is the higher quality, really, really realistic feel to it. It's much thicker than a lot of them that are on the market. So I got these on Amazon. Very, very cool product. And I've seen a lot of other YouTubers and just folks who are redesigning their interior, remodeling the interior using this. So it's going to be interesting to see how it performs and how it looks. And once we get it in place, I'll show you that as well. But a big upgrade, or at least one that I consider so far, is what I did with this wing at the end here, or this flip-up countertop. So the folks over at Coachman put this really robust kind of hinge system here, and it was strong, it was very sturdy. The one thing I didn't like about it was it didn't really feel like it was a very smooth operation. You had to kind of do this thing where you pulled it out, lift up slightly, and then swung it down, and you had to do it exactly the right way on both sides. So instead, I ordered these two really, really nice flip-up brackets from Amazon. It was like $65 a pair or something like that, plus there was like a 5% off coupon. They can hold up to over 500 pounds. And the profile of them is so much closer to the body of the island than the ones that were on here. The ones that were on here, you probably saw, kind of had this weird lean to them, and it just didn't really look nice. And at the same time, again, it was a little difficult to use. But with these, all I have to do is take off this little strap that holds them in place so it doesn't move, lift up, and that's it. And it works really well. I mean, it just looks a lot better. You know, it's the perfect height. This is probably where our youngest daughter is probably going to do her homework or eat. It's a little bit lower than the island, which is completely fine by us, and it just works really well. It's actually the same height as the dining room table, so we can move one of the chairs over here and have another place to eat. And I can throw my laptop on here and use the TV essentially as a monitor for it. But this is super cool, and I think it's going to work out exceptionally well because it provides us the exact height of countertop we're looking for, and it's super easy to put away. So the other one, there's no way I could have done it with one hand. I would have had to do this weird motion pulling it out and everything. This one, I unlock it from this side, and then I unlock it from this side, drop it down, and then just put the snaps in place. We're good to go. That's it. Super easy, super strong. I just love the look of it a lot more. It definitely blends a little bit more. And, you know, that hinge that they used here was definitely a prototype thing for them. So I think they likely went to one of their distributors and said what would work, and they got the heaviest duty thing they could find. This one right here will definitely work better, at least for us. Back there, I got a product I can't wait to use. This is actually a reverse osmosis portable water system that was provided to us. And I don't necessarily think it's portable, actually, because it still has a cord you have to plug in. But what's really cool about this, and it's made by a company called AquaBear, basically you fill up the reservoir with water, and it has all of the components inside of it to do proper reverse osmosis and filter your water into a reservoir or container. Super cool. I mean, honestly, typical reverse osmosis systems require a bunch of equipment you mount under your sink and you connect to your faucet, then you have to drill a hole through the side, put a little spout in place. But this is kind of a self-contained unit. Now, you're not going to have the ability, of course, you know, just sit here and fill a bunch of pots full of water. It's not going to be really convenient for that. But if you're looking for a really good way to pretty much do the ultimate form of water filtering, even though there are many nutrients and things like that you can filter out, so I know all the water quality experts' ears are ringing right now. But if you are looking for reverse osmosis filtered water, like bottled water, but without the nutrients and flavor stuff being added into it like you get in bottled water, this is a really good option. And here's just something that's pretty cool. So I don't know if you all remember, a long time ago, I was doing some videos with Black Oak LED products that they sent me, and they had this really cool little mounting system where they use a RAM mount and they attach one of their LED lights to it, and it's designed to kind of be a universal scene light, fishing light, something like that. You can clamp it to whatever you want. Well, the other end of it is a cigarette lighter style plug, and inside of this storage is a cigarette lighter style outlet. So if I'm doing something out here and I need extra light, this thing is stupid bright. I mean, it is ridiculously bright, and it's super cool that I can take this, run the cord where I want, just plug it in, and I'm just going to leave it inside the storage area. So if I'm doing something off the back at night, I could plug this and suction it to the back cap right here. I can use it on the side if I'm looking around the side. Just very, very cool. And it's a flood beam, so it's going to give me a tremendous amount of light around an area whenever I'm outside working at night. And I think this is just perfect, especially if I'm doing a project or trying to get a fire started, just something. This can really help. So definitely found a use for a product that I've essentially had in storage for almost the last, what, 3 years? This goes back to before my ranch hand bumpers. So yeah, very cool. I can pull it out of storage, plug it into a 12-volt outlet that conveniently is placed inside here, and now I have a really cool outside light. So another great perk of that outlet that we had spec'd inside of this storage area that's behind the fireplace on the connection side of the RV. Oh, and before I forget, one other thing, and this also came from eTrailer. By the way, if you all don't know, eTrailer is the main official sponsor of my channel, and they are a phenomenal partner because they have everything towing and RV related. Look what they supplied me. So RV showers are so different from model to model to model. Some of them include a little pole like this to be able to put your sprayer on. Mine didn't. Now I have it. So it matches perfectly, blends in very well, and it actually came with another sprayer and another hose. So if you have the type that's just fixed up there and you can't take it off, really, really good upgrade. So now I can move the sprayer from up here to right there. Very, very cool, and it slides up and down. So again, very, very happy with the folks over at eTrailer. They've taken really good care of me. Great partner for the channel, and definitely one that I'm proud to have as my sponsor. So yeah, I guess it's about time we start getting this thing set up to go camping. Still got a few other things I'd like to add to it before then, but yeah, I need to go ahead and get all the sheets, blankets, and everything in here and get the wife out here so we can start getting this thing set up to take out on our first trip. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.